Good afternoon, everybody. It is Angie Atkinson, and I'm here with the lovely and talented Lise Colucci. Lise, welcome back.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Oops, sorry.
Ooh.
How are we late? Sorry we were late today, everyone. It has been a crazy holiday time for me personally, and I haven't even had a chance to ask Lise about hers. Lise, how was your holiday?
It was good. Mellow. Yeah, yours? It was
I
good.
cannot complain.
Yeah.
It was nice. Yeah.
Ah.
Quiet family time, always a good thing. Okay. I see that my camera's flickering again. I don't know if what's happening, but if it gets too annoying, let me know and we'll try to we'll try to remedy that. All right. So today we thought we would talk about, and I'm going to let our mod squad, hey everybody, who should be coming in shortly if you're not here yet, since we were late. We apologize again for being late. Hello, Peggy, Angela, Blue Moon, Darlene. We're going to talk about normalization of toxic behavior and gaslighting at the hands of course, guess who? Narcissists. I know you're shocked. So,
What?
I know. I know. And I see that our mod squad isn't in the stream yet, but when they get here, they'll share all the information about how to catch up with us next time. We're only going to be about 30 minutes today as we are both overbooked. So, Lise, well, not overbooked, but booked after.
Yeah.
after yes. Lise, start us off today. Normalization of toxic behavior and gaslighting.
Well, there's a thing that happens where a narcissistic person or a toxic person will try to make what they're doing seem normal.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they do that is twisting truths, using their delusion that they live in to be the reality we're all supposed to see, and then gaslight you and everyone else around you to believe that what they're doing is perfectly sane, normal, and okay, and not at all toxic. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
Oh, and well, you're left on the other side either arguing, trying to defend yourself, feeling like you're crazy, you name it, right? And basically, it's a place that it's when this happens. It happens in the smear. It happens in normal living with them. It happens in an argument. It happens in any time that they need to make themselves seem like the good guy and you like the bad guy,
Yes.
and make their toxic behaviors seem like the normal one, and you seem like they can get you to get reactive and toward them. So yeah, that's
Yes.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's always been the first time I think that I became aware of that technique was as an adult, although in hindsight, I can see where it happened in my childhood as
Yeah.
well. But it is one of those situations where you're just like it's not normal, but
Mhm.
somehow they can be, well, how dare you, be mad at me for cheating on you when you wouldn't sleep with me all week because I cheated on you last month or whatever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's a really extreme example, but you get the idea. Anywho, so Lisa, have you personally experienced this pretty often in the
Oh
past?
yeah, and I hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the more common forms of gaslighting, but it's a hard one to put your finger on and talk about
Mm-hmm.
because it does sometimes they do make a point. And the point does make sense because they use pieces of truth and pieces of what we call plausible deniability to support their argument or
Yes.
support their side. And because they live in this delusion, they believe or they act like they believe 100% that what they're saying is actually true. So they have that believability of conviction when they're talking.
Oh, that's the worst.
Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And so then you're like, "Whoa, but it seems like maybe I was." Or especially if there's any reactivity after they have pushed you to the point where you're becoming reactive.
Right.
You might say, "Well, I did call them those names. I did throw the thing. I did get mad and yell and leave the room." So they're right.
Yeah.
But
It's
what they're missing is all the stuff that led up to it, which was a big slew of gaslighting.
yes. Yes. And what I find to be really okay, is my thing's flickering again. Sorry.
You
What
just
I find
shame.
it's so annoying. I think it's more stable now. Okay. Or not. As soon as I clicked it, sorry guys. Um, maybe I should just be my picture today. I don't know. Anyway, um, what I think that I have found to be especially frustrating myself is that, yeah, exactly like you say, they give you certain little bits of, okay, these are facts. I did leave that room. These are facts. I did not sleep with them or whatever with them or whatever. But then they, like you said, I mean, it's all what you said. You already said it. I don't need to keep repeating
Okay. Hearing it a different voice is always good.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, I want to tell you, I'm a little burned out today, and it's just been a long, it's just a long weekend. So I apologize for my tiredness. There's no good excuse either. I literally went to bed at like 10 o'clock last night, and I slept until 7 this morning, minus a few, getting up to go.
Yeah, sometimes that extra rest makes it feel like you need more rest.
I mean, what in the world?
It's weird, right? Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, okay, John Doe in the chat says, yeah, they always want to ignore their past acts. And that's a really true. And highly sensitive Wookiee, whose name I love, and I always have to say that whenever I see highly sensitive Wookiee, manipulating the narrative. That's a really, yeah. And that's exactly what I hate that. It says highly sensitive Wookiee. I love that name. Okay. And that's really what it is, right? It's a lot of, yeah. And as Chris says, that's because they hate accountability.
Oh yeah.
And that's true. Yeah. But it's also that Peggy said, I heard a great response. I love this. She said, do you think I allow others to treat me like this? Are you asking for special treatment? Or are you asking for special treatment? And am I supposed to just allow you to abuse me? In either case, you're sorely mistaken. I think maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you got that from a short that I posted this week or last week. Peggy, let me know if I'm wrong. I found a therapist on TikTok, and she had this she said, here's what you say. And it was almost identical to that. That was really great. Yeah. Anyway, I shared that on my channel. I'm trying to see if I can see. Our mod squad is in the house. Christine, Jack, and Helpful Mom. Thank you guys. Sorry again about our tardiness today. I think we decided, Elise, do you think we should just go ahead and switch to 1 p.m. instead of 12:30? That's
fine with me. It's fine with me. Either way, yeah. I mean, I'm the one that's made us switch 2 weeks, so yeah.
Well, I've been in the past.
So. It happens. One thing that I'm thinking of here is that because the narcissist lives in this delusional state of they believe that their ego that they're presenting to the world is who they are, and they need to preserve and protect that ego. And that all the stuff that they're doing to preserve and protect that ego is justifiable because all that matters is that ego and themselves, or what they consider themselves. That then we go along with that when we are in the love bombing stage. We go along with it when we're being groomed, and we go along with it even in the beginning of the devalue, because we don't know better. We think that actually is them. And we are living in the delusional state with them, because it's like living with someone who's acting. How would you know? You think you're with that person, right? And it's when we start to see the truth, and we start to see that there's a difference between who they claim to be and who they are, then they have to start pulling the reins back even harder and doing this thing where we look crazy, where we look, in order to continually protect and preserve that ego.
Oh, that's really true.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about, like, why would someone even do this?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I've got one client right now who is in a really very bad divorce, and her ex is acting like she victimized him. And I'm going to tell you what she did to victimize him. She accidentally found out he was cheating.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm in the middle of talking to someone similar. Like, what? I
mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's really so sure about it. You can tell by the way he's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so scared of you. And
They play it so good, and yeah.
And you have to keep reminding yourself, and your client in this case, that this is because you accidentally found out this man was cheating.
And what's he trying to do? He's trying to get her to react so that she does something that is over the top, and then he can say, it doesn't matter what I do, look how you behave.
That's right. But I'm going to tell you something. This is not going to happen for this lady.
Good.
Got her. Okay.
Good.
I got her.
Yes.
But
No reacting.
this is why
Yeah.
we do what we do, right? At least partially.
Yep. Hold people and tell them they're okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a matter, yeah, it's it's a
They
matter,
do this to get, they love when we get reactive.
yes.
And then they push the gaslighting even harder.
Yeah.
And then they do this normalization thing of like, well, how was I supposed to react when you're screaming in my face?
And most people who manage to stay with a narcissist for more than a year or two, they are never, if they are screaming, it's because reactivity or,
Exactly.
reacting
It's
to
all
the,
reactivity. Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
right. And they've spent so much time bending over backward and trying to become, at least I did, trying desperately to become whatever it was that person wanted,
Yep.
failing miserably no matter what, because it doesn't matter if you're the perfect, exact model replica of what they picked out of the catalog. It doesn't matter. You'll never be enough for them because they are not enough for them.
Right.
So
And they also like, if you were perfect, what more do they have to control?
oh, right.
And they need to control because it's how they get their ego fix.
Yeah.
And
There's no
so,
perfect.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They would either cheat on you if you're perfect and then be mad at you for being upset about it, or mad at you for not being upset about it. Um,
Or find a flaw that doesn't exist, or manufacture
right.
a flaw, so to speak, right?
But yeah, now suddenly I'm into girls with brown eyes and you've had blue eyes this whole time, and they totally love blue eyes before that, or guys, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Something
It's
you can't help. Yeah.
right. Something in like if my ex was suddenly like, I'm really into really tall chicks, I'd be screwed.
Right.
I'd try to wear tall shoes, but it wouldn't matter because I'm not really a tall chick.
Right.
But I'm just babbling. Okay. All right. So any other thoughts about all of this?
No, unless if there's questions, go. Yeah.
We've got here. Okay. We've got, oh, this is good. Highly sensitive Wookie. Just love that name. Oh, thank you. Kelly says, great response. I've heard that lately also. It was your story, Angie. Brilliant. Okay. All right. Vanessa says, I'm afraid of him and I just want him to go away. Let's talk about that really quickly. So depending on I was afraid of my ex, not physically, really. Maybe when he was enraged, I would be a little bit nervous, but to be fair, he didn't physically assault me directly. But I was afraid of him emotionally, and I was desperately afraid of him emotionally. It was like his emotions ruled my world for a long time. Lise, what would you say to Kelly with her, I'm sorry, Vanessa, with being afraid of him and just wanting him to go away? I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, I can relate to it without knowing what the fear is. I
Right.
hesitate to say anything really, because if it's a physical fear of something physical, then that's a whole different answer. And
Whole different answer, right?
if it's afraid of his being mad at you, afraid of his not pleasing him, afraid of his disapproval, that's when we have to learn to see them for what they are. So we can see that we're never going to meet those marks because it's not about us, it's about them.
Right.
It's about, like we just said, it's about them having to control, having to manipulate, and having the power. And it's, trying to get through the breaking of the trauma bonds and then see where your fear level is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And Kelly, Vanessa, I'm sorry, I keep saying Kelly. I see Kelly's name right below Vanessa's. Hi, Kelly. Vanessa, I want to say this too. If they're just, in case you're physically afraid of him, that if there are physical things happening or you're pretty sure they're going to happen, please listen carefully to what I'm about to say right now. All this other stuff doesn't matter. You need to get out as soon as possible. I don't care if you go to like a shelter, and I'm not saying you should. I do care, but I want you to get away from that person, whether you call the police and have him hauled off and change the locks the next time he puts his hands on you, or you physically remove yourself from the situation. But we do not want to see you in the news in a bad way. Right? And I'm just saying that with love and nothing more, nothing less. Just please be safe. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Moving right along. Okay. Oh, okay. She says he does live with me, but he also has his mom's house to go to, Vanessa. So I would suggest if he it has his mom's house to go to. This is terrible, but a friend of mine used to. Okay, a friend of mine used to do this, and this is unacceptable in most circumstances. But this, in this case, I think it's appropriate. Maybe you just take all the stuff to his mom's house, and drop it off, and change the locks on your door. If it's not like a he owns the house kind of thing, which I get this feeling that he doesn't based on the way you put that. But other than that, I mean, you could be facing legal issues, so you might have to deal with going through a legal eviction or whatever. But if his mom is someone that you can get along with and tolerate, maybe you talk to her and she'd be thrilled to have him back home. I don't know. Lisa, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, not knowing what the situation is with this is the same person we don't know if it's physical fear, right?
Yeah.
Or,
We
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, changing the locks, without knowing the whole story and where they're at. Like, does he know you don't want him there yet? You know,
We
like,
don't know yet.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I would agree with you. I don't really have much else without more.
Yeah.
info. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. Let's look at highly sensitive Wookie. I always love saying your name and seeing it. Okay. Says the only saving grace is that the abuser has so much more to keep in check by being dishonest. Since I'm honest, I don't have to worry about remembering anything I lied about. Darn right.
Right.
Darn right. Yeah. Peggy, don't worry about butchering the quote. I butchered it too. That's why I just shared her saying it. Okay. I see this one comment that was deleted, but I just want to say to Kathy, if you would like to send me an email about that situation, I would be happy to talk with you about that because I've actually talked about that person before. Okay. Highly sensitive Wookie says that, and it makes it so much easier to know who is a true friend. That's actually really powerful. Let's talk about that. Lise, when you were in a situation where, well, when you were going through the end of your relationship with a narcissist, did you suddenly know who all your true friends were? Or was it just me? Did you experience that at all? Like who believed you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, but for different reasons. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't as much about lying, it was more about something
It
else?
was more about who is able to hang in there and who's able to support and who's able to, and what people, I'm the kind of person that people tend to lean up toward me.
Yeah.
And I don't do much leaning the other way. And so when I need to lean, people run. So it was more of that than it was,
I get it.
there wasn't loyalties to him by anyone,
Okay.
even his
That's
own family. So, yeah.
That actually, knock on wood, was the same with my ex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The family thing, but that has to prove to you at least that maybe it wasn't. Well, that's another story. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mystique says to Vanessa, "Can you not give him the boot?" Which is also I want to know. Oh, Ellen C says, "Hey, Ellen." She says, "Yeah, I went through the same thing. They're great victims."
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're so good at it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Vanessa does say not without him getting extremely violent. Vanessa, please look at my face right now. Listen to me very carefully. The next time he raises a hand to you, call the cops or have a signal with your neighbor to call the cops. Somebody do something to call the cops. Like, I don't care if you text the letter X to a friend that said, this is it. This is happening. You need the cops to come and take him. And when they say, and he might play the victim, by the way, but just when they say, do you want us to take him? You say yes. And you change those locks and you drop his crap off at his mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a restraining order. You don't deserve this. Lisa, anything for Vanessa on this?
Yeah, people who get physical escalate.
Yes.
It doesn't stay as it is. It gets worse and worse. So you
deserve better.
It's a time factor here too. Hopefully you can do this without him having to raise a hand.
If she said he hits me for everything. I took him back.
I would get to a shelter.
It's her house.
Well, I would get
You
to a
have to-
shelter to talk to people who are experienced in dealing with helping you get out of situations like this, so that they can give you practical, in-person, local tips for your area and how to keep you safe. And
I wish I knew where you lived. I'd
yeah,
come pick you up myself. I'm so sorry that this is happening.
it's, you need some support behind you, right? And reporting this to the police, reporting this to your doctors, so that if there's any marks on your body, if you have any photographic evidence. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Because you need, it sounds like you need a protective order as well.
At the very least, the very least. Just let me say this to you, Vanessa, you do not deserve this.
Nope.
You do not, nobody deserves this. There's nothing you could say or do that would make this okay. He is wrong. You need to protect yourself. And I hope, I don't know if you have children in this situation, but if you can't do it for yourself, do it for any children or potential children you might have. If you, do you have support from your family? Is anybody aware of this except for this group here? Talk to us, let us know what's going on. I'm so sorry.
You might want security cameras on the house too.
I think that's a really good idea. And they're not that expensive. You can get them from Amazon or whatever, pretty cheap, and they record, you know, so. Oh, here she says, he hits me for everything. He yells, he's so violent. He's a ticking time bomb. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vanessa, please, please hear what we're saying. Don't keep doing this to yourself. You, no one deserves this. And don't tell yourself that you deserve it because you did something wrong or because somebody told you you deserve it. You don't deserve it. There's nothing you could have done to deserve it. You're a whole adult. And I hope, and I hope, let us know if you have kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing you've done to create this. Not
Course.
only do you not deserve it, we don't make someone that behave that way. People behave that way because they behave that way, because they are predisposed to, or they're willing to.
Right. Trying to see if I can fix this stupid thing. Nope. Okay. Better? Nope. I'm really sorry. I know it's annoying.
It's like we're on old TV.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've really just taken out the camera. But I keep hoping. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Is that better, maybe? Okay. Nope. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm very concerned about Vanessa. Okay. She said, now I'm scared he's going to find out that I lied about the hospital. I just needed peace. So she went to the hospital to get away from him.
Did you report what happened there? The thing is, if we live in silence with this, I know it's scary to expose it, but when we live in silence with it, you're living by yourself in it. And you can't get the support you need to get away from it.
If you're scared to call the police, Vanessa, this is what I'm going to suggest for you. You said his mom isn't that far. I would suggest you go to his mom and you explain to her what's happening. And you explain to her that you're not going to be killed by her son. And so you would like it if she would take him back. And if she doesn't, you're going to call the police. And that's how it's going to go down. And he should probably be in jail anyway for what he's done up to this point. I don't know if that's anything. It seems like anything you do, you know, like if he were not physically abusive, you know, maybe there are things you could do or say you did in order to get him to leave you, right? But because he's physically abusive, he's only going to make it worse. Yep. Okay. A lot more things to say about that. I'm not going to say them for now. But please, Vanessa, please get some help. Do you have any final words for Vanessa?
No, just what you've been saying. Just you may need the help of police, reporting it to medical people, and also possibly a domestic violence counselor of some sort that can help with any local resources and any resources just to help you get through it so you don't take him back.
Right. And tell your doctor, tell anybody who's a mandated reporter and they'll help you. Who is mandated reporters? We have doctors, nurses, principals, teachers. Who else? Ministers,
counselors,
yeah,
therapists, whatever.
some people are mandated by law. So
Probably police,
yep.
Firefighter, paramedic type of people as well.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Well, Kelly says, mine pushed me until I started screaming out of frustration. Oh, here he goes. He pulled out his phone and started videoing me saying the world needs to see the real you.
Yep. So I had actually talked to the toxic person, okay, about somebody else. And their explanation when they were trying to gaslight me to believe that they were trying to smear someone to me. Their explanation was, I videotaped the whole thing. I could show you. I could show you where she lost her mind and yelled and screamed and called me names. I can show you. I have proof.
Good.
Yeah, great.
Right.
Yeah, what happened before that, buddy? Right.
I'm guessing.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that when that happens, I mean, people who understand these people will get it,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it looks really bad.
It does.
And it's because sometimes maybe you're even repeating back to them some of the stuff they said to you. Or
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
What Lise, tell me.
No, just I'm thinking, I'm just glad I know her and know the truth because I know her, I know the truth.
Right.
And that's like the smear didn't work, but I just think of the people that it does work for, and it's so frustrating because the truth eventually comes out. You hold your head high when they smear you, and you just keep your cool and don't defend yourself too much. And it eventually comes out because most people not most people, many people can see through this. They just don't, they feel uncomfortable. They don't want to get in the middle. They start to question things because they're like, what?
Right.
I didn't know that person was that way, but then they think about it and it may take them a couple weeks. So
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And I think the worst part too is that there is I think the worst part of it is that they can make you, and we were kind of talking about that earlier, they can make you believe that you're wrong. And this is the whole gaslighting thing in general, right? But like, even when you know for sure, you have written, I used to write things down because I thought I was crazy for a while. So I would write things down, the things they said to me. And I felt like recording, but I was afraid that it would cost me too much from them if they found out.
Right.
But, but I remember often hearing, just blatant lies or blatant twisting. And I would go, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Here's one thing. It is easier to just roll over and go, maybe you're right.
Yep.
It is so much easier, especially when you are so worn down by hours of gaslighting. I mean, arguments with a narcissist aren't 5 to 10 minutes. They are 5 to 10 hours sometimes.
Years,
right?
whatever.
Yeah. Or days or whatever. But minimally, it's never a little blow up and then you're over it.
No.
There's no resolution. There's only this gaslighting that happens. And by the time you're at the point where you're like, maybe they're right, usually you're just so tired that it's easier. Ugh.
Exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. Okay, here's a positive. From Darlene. She says, just a story of someone being positive this week. People were in line for a store when this guy selling bread in the parking area grabbed a mirror and started walking along the line saying the mirror was magic and only beautiful people could see themselves. I love that.
That's cute.
All right, let's see here. There we go. Okay. Vanessa Mystique says to Vanessa, I booted my ex and he lives with my mom in the next town. His mom, not hers. Okay. Ooh, all right. Do you have any, you're not looking at the chat, are you?
No, I can't. I don't have it on. I get to.
No, that's okay. Oh, Stephanie said she can relate to his emotions rule my world. I'm so sorry about this flickery camera. I feel like
Yeah,
this.
that's a tough one. That his emotions. It's where. Well, it's where we go, right?
Yeah, it's exactly where I was. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And it's really the best possible. Okay.
It's hard
Oh,
enough to not let that happen in a healthy relationship, but with the manipulation of a toxic relationship,
right.
it's kind of the way it is because you're always walking on eggshells and you're always trying to
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
So,
it's true.
mhm.
And then Ellen C says, I would hear his keys in the front door, and the fear of the unknown would paralyze me. Thankfully, not in that anymore. Yes, I can relate to that. The tires in the driveway,
Mhm.
Oh, I just got a little bit of anxiety just thinking about it right now, how it
Mhm.
used to feel. And I mean, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And, if you're, whether you're new around here, you've been here for a while, that's a huge red flag, y'all. Like if you feel like that when your person is coming home and you're not, you know, all the time, like that's not okay.
Mm-mm.
Not
I
okay.
feel bad for the children who have to go back and forth to it.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. Let's see here. Kelly says, I evicted mine on March 16th. Congratulations, Kelly. Um, Called his mother. He's 38 with nothing. she she rescued him. She's his original enabler. Well, in this case, maybe she rescued yourself as well.
Mhm.
Oh. Even though she probably didn't mean to. Oh, Vanessa says she pays all the bills. He's he pays nothing. He's not even on the lease.
Good.
Girl,
Good.
you could make your apartment people make him move out. Say, well,
Yes,
this
you
dude's
could.
living in my place. He won't even. He's not on the lease. It's a thought.
Mhm.
Thought.
You
Adrian says,
probably do have legal precedent though to get him out. You could probably have the police escort him out.
no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I really think so. Especially since he's physically abusive.
Mhm.
Okay, we are running out of time. I'm sorry, guys. I want to stay and talk to you guys for a long time. But really quickly, Ella, I want to say this to you. Ella says, I have a lot of narcissistic traits, but I'm not a narcissist because I'm not exploitative and nor do I thrive from others suffering, but I have a lot of rage. So we're going to talk about that next week. If somebody in either Jack on the Mod Squad or Lise remind me, Flying Monkeys next week.
Flying monkey,
Not Flying Monkeys. What's it called?
please.
Please. I know we've talked about it before, but
Please, but I like what she said there. She said, I have traits and I have a lot of rage. Is that what she
yes,
said? Yeah.
yeah, but she's not a narcissist because she doesn't exploit people and she doesn't like to see other people suffering or cause it. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that next week. That's called narcissistic fleas.
I mean, I don't like having rage. I just, but what she said, that explanation is a good,
There. Yeah.
well, it's fair. Yeah. And it's self-aware.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up for now because we are in our, both of us have calls in just a few minutes. And so we will see you guys next week. I promise I'll be more perky.
We will wake up next week. I've been sick. Angie's been exhausted. We're here leaning on the chair talking to you.
We love y'all. Okay. We'll see. We'll be here next week.
We'll wake up.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Lisa?
No, I said we'll wake up. We'll wake up next
Wake
week.
up. We will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully I'll have my camera fixed or I'll just, I don't know what. We'll see next week.
Yeah. In the meantime, it's the beginning of the month. If anyone needs any group coaching, it's
Oh,
always a good time to start in the beginning of the month. I don't know why, because it feels
yeah.
like the beginning of a month.
Yep.
But
And so you can either reach out to Lise by email or you can go to queenbeing.com/groups, GROUPS, or what else, Lise? What's another way?
it's also Queen Being group coaching is on there too. So I think,
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. We will see you guys very soon. Hugs and love to you too. Say hi, Lisa. Okay. Okay. Next week. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Helpful Mom. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Jack. We'll see you guys. That's our mod squad. We appreciate you all. All right. See you soon. Bye.